What's up, guys? I was very much debating on whether or not I was even going to show the garbage that I did last weekend because it was a bit rough and I got frustrated and only made it worse. So what I'm about to show you works, but it looks like garbage. So today I'm going to try and fix it because last weekend I just wasn't having it and it went downhill. As you can see, the passenger inner fender is in the car. The battery tray's there and it's holding a battery, right? But the work I did on the inner fender to put that support in looks like garbage. I tried TIG welding it and shocker, I did not do a good job. It's not pretty. Well, let me pop the battery tray off and you can see how ugly it is. And then I will show my fallacies to the good old YouTube for all the criticism that might come from it.
Oh, you're using big words today?
Yeah, we're using SAT words. And courtesy of my befuddlement, this looks like total. What's an SAT word for garbage? I don't know what an SAT word is for garbage. Refuse. Looks like total refuse. Come on. But I mean, TIG welding is something that takes a good bit of practice and skill and more practice and knowledge, and I clearly just do not have it yet.
You're learning.
I am learning, and I had high hopes that I was going to be able to pull off this joint, and I did not. I did not pull it off at all. It's terrible. I mean, it holds a battery, so I mean, it's kind of there. But in the process of doing so, I managed to warp the inner fender enough that I had to bend it and force it into place, which shouldn't have been the case.
So we're still stuck on the inner fenders and we can't move forward.
No, we're not exactly stuck. I'm going to clean it up a little bit today. Clean up the weld, because I didn't clean the weld up at all last time because I was just too irritated by the end of the day. So we're going to clean it up. We're going to try and fix some of the part of it that's really bad, and then we're going to paint the inner fenders and move on down the road because I need to get better before I can actually make it work. I got one more bolt. Ha! One more bolt. That wasn't intentional, I promise. Where's that? Look at that. There it is.
Now we need to get the wagon going.
Yeah, we gotta get this one going so that we can be able to start doing some of the stuff on Paige's Chevelle. Because I know that if we don't start doing stuff on it soon, she's going to annihilate me.
That might hurt you just a little bit.
So the battery tray's out. It does go in. It's got all the bolts needed to bolt up the way it bolts up factory style. But anyway, come in for a closer look. This joint right here, I'm actually really happy with this. I did this a lot different than I did on the other side. I didn't do a splice section. I actually cut the flange off the inner fender completely and made a new flange from scratch. And that actually came out pretty good.
See, that's
but
this side.
This, oh yeah, the driver's side, which we looked at in the last video. It's not nearly as good. I'm not happy with how that came out. But what looks like garbage is this here, the shelf I put in for the battery tray. And you can tell that the weld is garbage, and I don't know how well it's going to show in the video, but there's a warp in the fender. There's a high area here where I overheated it, warped the fender. The weld here looks like garbage because it was pulling away. It was just not a good day, and then the more I tried to work with it, the worse it got, and the more impatient I got, and it was just a downhill ride.
Does it really even matter since we're painting it and the battery tray is going on top of it? You're not even going to see it?
It matters to me, okay? It matters to me.
You hear that,
I don't
people?
want it to be total garbage, and right now, to me, it's total garbage, all right? It works. Yes, it works. It gets the job done. battery tray and some paint will definitely hide it. You're not gonna see it unless you take the battery tray off, but I'm gonna know that I put total garbage in there, and I'm not okay with it.
And if
So I'm
Cole's
gonna
not
clean it up.
happy,
I gotta clean it up a little bit. I gotta try and undo some of my screw up here in hopes that I can tolerate what I'm gonna live with on this car, and I've learned from it. So the plan, that's the plan, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna waste a bunch of time filming all the cleanup and rework and everything on here, so we'll catch up with you in a little while, and hopefully we'll be putting some paint on these and looking at where we're gonna go next with this car, because we do have a good bit of stuff to do. We've got to plumb the car, which is brakes and fuel, and we've got to wire the car, and once those two things are done, then we'll be really close to actually getting this thing to actually drive somewhere.
and where does this thing need to be in a month and a half?
Who cares? Okay, a month and a half to do what we got to do on this car, no big deal. We're not going to talk about the other car over there. Reality is setting in that we might have an issue with getting to the event we wanted to do with that car.
That'll be on another video.
Yeah, well, you'll have to tune in to the next video on the gasser build to find out what's going on with that, and
He opened
how
a can of worms.
how plans have evolved, things that I have learned, and anyway, that's for a different video. So I'm gonna get to work on here, get this fixed up, and I'll show you what I come up with here in like well, we did a thing. They're black now. I got it fixed up enough that I can live with it, so we're gonna put it together. For the most part, it should all stay together this time. That's going to be the goal anyway. So we'll go ahead and start doing that. I did, one of the benefits of it being ridiculously hot is the paint dries up pretty quick. So I did put I don't know how well you'll be able to see it, but I put a truck bed liner coating lightly over the outside of these so that they'll be a little bit tougher. Oh, let me tell you a thing, little thing here. If not all rust reformer paints are made the same, this one, which is made by Rust-Oleum, Rust Reformer, and then you have this one, which is made by Rust-Oleum, and it's a Rust Reformer. And you would think that, hey, these are the same thing, they just have different labels on them. No, this one right here sucks. This stuff sprays terrible, comes out real stripy, and doesn't dry real well, and it kind of leaves a weird dusty film behind. It's terrible. Whereas this one, which is what I used on the other inner fenders and what I used on the firewall and the core support, sprays great. Nice and even, nice, good coverage. So if you're going to get a rust reformer, get this one. Not this one. This one's garbage. Get this one. The price is like the same, I'm pretty sure, but this one's good, this one's garbage. Just so you know. And this one also has a much better top on it. This little red thing, they suck. They wear your finger out. These white ones work really well, and they don't wear your finger out. So this is the good one. Right there. Yep, look, yep. This is what you want. Not this. This is junk. Garbage. Anyway, moving on. Now that that's out of the way, the truck bed liner crap that I used is just this stuff from Harbor Freight. The one thing I will tell you about this is the same can that I used when I did the other inner fenders, and it's been on my shelf as an open can, like, you know, half-used spray paint. It sprayed like absolute dog crap this time around, and was spittery and sputtery and had goo in the top. So if you're going to use this stuff, use it up, and whatever's left, throw it away and just get a new can. It's cheap. You'll end up with a lot better end product using a new can than trying to reuse. So GoPro just did something stupid. I don't know where we're gonna leave off with that because it did some weird stuff. But anyway, we're just going to go on, and hopefully we didn't lose too much. I'm going to be using the speed clips similar to the stock setup. These just slide over and snap in place. That way you don't have to put a nut on the back side. Just like that. I need to get a couple more of them out. I found them, by the way. You see that? They weren't in a box. I put them in one of my jars. That's why I couldn't find them, because I put them away organized, like, which meant they disappeared. Yeah, I spent like 20 minutes looking for these stupid things. But so there we go. Now we won't have to worry about holding nuts on the backside, because those are in there, just like a factory style setup uses. Try and wiggle this thing down in here. Try and get in the hole. There we go. Go in there like that. These, oh. There. And the fender goes on. We won't be able to actually. Oh, that's right. Sorry, I brain farted there. But we won't be able to tighten everything up, actually all tightened, finished like, just because we'll have to do some more adjustment down the road. Once we actually get the balance of the front end on, we'll have to adjust all our door gaps. But we are going to loose bolt everything right now, get it all in place. Hopefully it all cooperates. Okay. That one's in. We got our shims, our height's good there. Next bit. So the inner fender goes under the outer. And we need to get it aligned. Whoa. Started. Another one going. Overall, I mean, the fix that I did, cleaning up the other fender, which we'll take a better look at it once I get it actually installed on the car. It's satisfactory. The only way I could have actually fixed it and made it actually really look good would have been to cut off the battery support that I put on there and start from scratch, and I really just wasn't in the mood to do that, so I didn't. So I took grinder to it, cleaned it up a good bit, and re-welded it where it needed to be re-welded, cut some of that boogery stuff off, and it'll have to do. Let's see if I can get this one here going. I might need to put a longer bolt in there, but it's lined up. We are going to install the hood hinge brackets this time around, because we don't want to take this apart again. Here. Maybe. No, I gotta go over it. There we go. I think that's how that's gonna go. Hot in here.
Yeah.
What did we get up to? About 100 today?
Yeah. 94 in the shop right now.
I think I need longer bolts. That's inconvenient. We'll at least have it pinned in place. Well, that's crappy. So, take a look in right here. Let me grab my light because that's all dark and whatnot. It never fails. There's always something. Change modes.
The
There we go.
holes don't line up.
You can see that the hood hinge bracket here, the holes. Well, no, they do. Wait a minute. There's another set of holes.
Oh,
There they
what
are.
are you talking about? Yeah.
I feel better now. Okay, so it's just gonna need a washer to close the gap. Ha! Ha!
My goodness.
I feel, hey, don't judge. Don't judge.
No more mayhem with these inner fenders.
I can't promise anything.
You could have looked at the other side.
I knew there was more holes. I need some of the washers over here. Actually, I don't want to use washers. I got a thing just for doing this kind of thing. Back here. I knew that when I had to come through and put this all back together, that I was going to have to re-shim everything. So,
Ta-da!
I got a set of body shims. So we can start these bolts. And they'll start in like such. And then we'll come back when we're shimming everything out using body shims. And we'll be able to key them in as needed as we tighten everything up. So, I'm not going to sit here and waste a bunch of your time on video screwing around sorting out body shims for filling that gap. But that's the solution right there. We shim that to where it needs to be and everything is happy-go-lucky. These holes line up and that one's almost there.
So you just need longer bolts.
And that one's probably going to be a problem. Of course. We may have to modify the bracket a little bit.
Nope.
I'm looking for that. There it is. Okay, so I can probably get that shimmed into a position where I can get the bolts in it. So we're gonna call that good. That will do. So that's bolted. You know we're gonna have to do some shimming. Yeah, and I'm definitely gonna need some longer bolts for this spot right here. No big deal. We'll see if I can't track down the OEM style bolt in a longer increment. And then the front at the core supports, which I should probably use new bolts for this, but I don't have any on hand, so we're going to use used bolts. That's fine, nobody's going to see them. Nobody going to care anyway. There we go. That's on. And it actually looks pretty good now that it's all in black again. This is very reminiscent of how it looked when it had the finished CPP inner fenders in it. If only I hadn't cut those for the fender well headers, we wouldn't have had to do another set for this car. We would have had to do a set for that car. anyway, and that's got a bolt in it already. So that one's in. We are bolted to the core support. It needs to be, everything needs to be tightened up. The front fender is where it needs to be, but I can't actually bolt the front fender to the core support yet because we're missing a piece. She's still hiding back here. That would be the mud buckets and or the headlight buckets or whatever you want to call these. And as you can see, they are yet to be refurbished. And this one's looking like it had a bit of a, well, it should be nice and round and flat on the backside like that one. And somehow, at some point in time in this car's life, it looks like someone took a sledgehammer to the back of this mud bucket. Anyway, since we don't have these ready to go yet, we can't actually do the final bolting up here at the front of the fender, so that's okay. We're getting there. I need to put the other side in and close up the engine bay. And there you go. Okay. And it's, I almost forgot to put my speed clips on. They would have been a pain in the neck to get on once the fender was already there.
You could just take the fender right back off.
Yeah, that's probably what I would have done too. That one. A couple more. I really am glad that these inner fenders are coming to an end. I'm burnt out on doing inner fender work.
You too?
What do you mean, me too? I'm the one who did all the work.
I want to move forward.
Well, I want to move forward too, but we had to make it halfway decent.
Because once this one's running and driving and out of the shop, mine comes in the shop.
Well, yes, we've talked about that. This car has to be a driver.
Yeah.
Before we make your car not a driver. And you want to drive your car, right?
Yes.
Okay, then you're going to have to enjoy driving it a little bit the way it is before we tear into it.
But I need a couple new things on my engine.
Well, your engine doesn't need new things.
Needs a bigger air cleaner.
Your engine's pretty good.
It needs a bigger air cleaner.
Well, that's easy. That's like a couple minutes.
Yeah.
That's not tearing into the car.
Well, that's what I need.
A bolt there. And I think the air cleaner is probably pretty low on that list of what it actually needs at this point.
It needs more power.
It needs more power?
Yeah.
I think it's got enough power.
When I step on the gas, I need to fly back in my seat and go vroom.
I think it's got enough power to start. You really probably ought to get comfortable driving the car the way it is before you start going faster.
No, I want to go fast.
I know you want to go fast, but you don't just go fast.
That's the one that you need the longer screw for.
Yep, you're right. That one needs the longer bolt. We're going to move the clip over right here.
Hey, don't scratch the beautiful paint.
Wait, don't put that one in yet. I almost forgot because you're distracting me.
Under. not distracting you.
Yeah, you are.
No, I'm not. You're supposed to be able to multitask.
I am multitasking. I am effectively putting a car together and talking about the stupid stuff that I'm doing along the way. Okay, that one's in. We'll have to shim that one as well. Come on. I don't know if I can get this one. There we go. Got it. Okay, both of those are started. Both of these bolts are pinned. Those holes line up about the same as they do on the other side. Halfway crappy. Now we need to pull the front end the rest of the way together. Oh goodness. Old man sounds. Did you know that it's a fact that once you pass, I think it's like the age of 35, it's expected that when you get up and down, that you make old man creaky noises. Did you know that?
My knees have popped ever since I was in high school.
No, I mean with your mouth. Grunting and...
Oh, like when you stand up and
Yeah.
you sit down, you're like, ugh.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think it's once you pass the age of 35,
I think that's a lie because you've been doing that ever since we've been together.
Yeah, that might be true, but I'm pretty sure it's 35 is where you can't.
And we met in our 20s, so.
No, I wasn't in my 20s when we met. I don't think.
Honey, how long have we been together?
Too long. I mean, it's not long enough.
You were in your late 20s when we met.
See, we've been together so long I don't remember.
Oh, it's already sinking in the old age? Forgetting things?
Yes. Okay, that's snug. And snug this side.
What was that?
Oh, it's because those bolts in the back aren't long enough, so the backside sagged a little bit. That's expected. Okay. So we're secured to the core support. I do need to find the right bolt for right there because you shouldn't be able to just push it in like that. Worry about that later. So same thing, we can't actually close this up right here because we've got to do the mud bucket. But that's in there. Before I put the battery tray on, if you want to take a look, just don't get too close because it's still not great. What am I? I said not to get too close and show my crap.
It's not crap. You did a very good job.
No, it's still garbage. It's just not as garbagey as it was, okay? You can give a closer look, I guess. So I got in here. If you remember earlier in the video, we showed how bad it really was to start with. I did a little bit of filling and work in here. I got a little bit more of the warp out of the panel, which is why it bolted up easier, and cleaned up the weld some. Got a little bit better weld in here on the gusset supports. Long story short, it's better than it was, but it's still kind of crappy. But once the battery tray is on, it's not crappy anymore because you can't see it. And that's the best part about the fact that this is a hidden little gem under here. I'm going to be the a-hole that knows about it, and that's about it. Well, and I guess the rest of you on YouTube who bothered to watch the video to this extent, you'll also know about it. Don't tell anyone though how crappy it is. Yeah, it's a secret about how crappy it actually is, right?
It's a secret with our subscribers?
Yeah. No, it's a secret within all of YouTube.
Oh.
You know, it's only like everyone. I gotta push on that a little bit. See? See? What?
It's getting hot.
Camera's getting hot? Well, we did a thing to solve that problem. So, we're gonna cut the video right here because the GoPro's getting hot because it's stupid hot. And we'll catch up with you in a couple minutes. Hey, we're back. And, well, if you haven't noticed, I haven't really done much because, like I said, we did a thing to help our camera situation from overheating, i.e. have a backup setup that hopefully is going to work out for us. It should. It's damn near identical. But as you can see, the battery tray is bolting in. I got to get one more bolt on the battery tray down at the strut below. But that's snugged up. I'll have to remember that this video clip is on this camera and not on the other one. Oh, it fit like a glove.
Well, you'll figure it out when the end isn't on that camera.
Well, that's probably true, but I can't promise anything. Memory is also a problem here, all right?
Oh my gosh.
I don't remember what I don't remember, right?
Sure.
Okay, that's snugged up. We're almost installed. And I am sweating like a pig right now.
It's hot.
Well, it's not even like hot. It's humid right now.
Yeah.
It's muggy. I don't know where the muggy came from because it wasn't muggy earlier. So we took a break in the middle of the day because, well, it got too hot. So we went and did our adulting stuff. You know, that stuff that everybody loves to do, grocery shopping. And
don't grocery shop when you're hungry.
yeah, because then she spends all your money. No new car parts this week. We bought groceries instead. But there we go. Battery tray is in. It holds a battery. The core support's in. The inner fenders are in. The hood hinge brackets are in-ish. Fender lines up pretty good on this side. How are we looking on this one? Actually, we're not too far off on this one either.
The bottom part, a little bit of.
Well, the bottom has another mount point down here that'll get body shimmed some way. We actually shim the bottom separate from the top.
Got it.
So until we get the top side all shimmed out, we won't really screw around with the bottom. We'll end up putting the bolt in so that it's lined up, but it'll be the last one to get tightened down because we'll shim it to where it lines up perfect with the bottom side of the door. But we have to get the top squared out first, which means that the mud buckets have to get done so that the front end can actually be secured. Once that's secured, when we shim out the fenders and we move on.
I like how your gray shirt, the longer we film, the darker it gets.
Hey, it's a color changer.
It's a color changer, yes.
You notice my shorts are doing the same, starting to do the same thing?
Yep. You get little wet spots.
So, upcoming, now that the inner fenders are there, there probably won't be a video about restoring the mud buckets. That's just rust busting, maybe a little hammer work to get that one straightened out. But the next thing on this car that we'll start working on, which I wanted to do, you probably didn't hear that, I wanted to start this a long time ago, but we ran into some hiccups that delayed this, so this has just been sitting in the car waiting to come out and be the headache that nobody likes to deal with. We got the wiring harness, and let's Is that the other camera?
Yeah.
You left it on?
I left it on.
That does not do any good for it not overheating.
I was more worried about getting the other camera. Shut your mouth. Continue.
What was I saying?
The wiring harness.
Yeah, so
Look at that pile of...
we're going to be
headache.
rewiring pretty much the entire car because the harness that was in, the factory harness in this car was in pretty rough shape. And
you literally cut it out and threw it away.
no, I still have it. We didn't butcher it. I don't think we butchered it at all. It's back here.
Okay, sorry. You took it out of the car and you threw it to the side.
There's the engine bay side of the harness that was in the car. As you can see, it doesn't look like a factory harness though because, well, the factory harness never had this kind of thing going on, and all this yellow wire was added by somebody. It was part of the electric fan circuit, but it was also tied into the voltage regulator and a power distribution block. It was someone's did not do a very good job of adding electric fans to this car, and they kind of hacked up the harness to do it. And the original wire is also 60 years old. So a new harness it is. We did not, what? It's back, it's in the tire well, it's good. This harness is one from Scamazon.
Scamazon, huh?
Scamazon.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's where you get the Chinese cheap crap. I looked at doing a typical painless style harness, and as with this car, I decided that that was more than I wanted to spend for this project. And I went to Scamazon, and hopefully I don't regret it, but well, we'll look more at this in detail, but what I can tell you just looking at it, it's actually not bad. As long as everything's connected decent, the wires are labeled, and there's clearly an abundance of wire. I mean, this is a lot of wire here. So there's an abundance of wire to work with. It is a 21 circuit harness, generic automotive wiring harness with the fuse block, flasher relay, the works.
So this is our next project once all that is done.
Yeah, this is what's going to be upcoming. We're going to get into this, try and get the car wired up, and hopefully that'll get us closer. Aside from wiring, we've got plumbing to do. Plumbing's going to be a bit of a, well, it'll be fun. If anybody's ever done brakes and fuel line plumbing, you know that it's not fun. I mean fun. So that's about what we got left. We've got electrical and plumbing. That's what we have left to make this car run and drive again.
Keep it out of here.
And bolt up some of the front end stuff. But yeah, I mean, I'm much happier today with the, I didn't break the fuse block, did it?
No,
Hey,
you
China fuse block, be okay?
threw it.
It looks fine. Good. But no, getting over the inner fenders so that we're good with those is a big hurdle because they've been frustrating. They were frustrating the first time around, and overall I did a better job this time with them, in my opinion, for me, for what I did and how I did it. But I still made a big screw up on when I was doing the battery tray over there that just drove me up a freaking wall, and it was no fun. But it's fixed now. We're rolling with what we've got. We've got a battery in stock location, and it's a good. The bottom of the fender is not attached yet. There's some screws that still need to be put in, attaching the bottom of the fender to the frame rail. But once those are in, this is going to be a good sturdy battery mount location, and that's going to work for us. But so I think that's going to do it. I think that's where we're going to cut this video, because I'm not digging into the next part of this, and I'm also not going to make you sit around and watch me play with shims for however many hours it takes to shim all this. And I also got to get some longer bolts, so I'm not going to shim it until I got the bolts that I can actually tighten it up with. But yeah, I mean, progress. We've made progress. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, on that note, be sure to, no, yes, I'll go get the other camera. She's
No.
trying not to get on camera. Come on.
I'm not prepared for camera.
Let go. Let go.
I'm not prepared.
Let go. You're
for
fine.
camera.
So, here's the other bit you need to know. She's hiding. Make sure you tune in for the videos coming up on her, what is it? What do you got?
My 64 Chevrolet.
There she is. Yeah, we're gonna start digging into the Chevelle.
Oh yeah. See, you caught me off guard.
That's the whole point. We aren't going to be doing any of the major work, but we are going to dig into it a little bit. We got parts to go through. Got to look at what we've got, and I have a plan that she doesn't know about yet. So make sure you tune in to find out about that, because we're going to put the fire to her for a little while and see if she can get it done. So on that note, we'll see you guys on the next one.